Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the I Work in Sport live interview. We're back after a hiatus. It's good to be back. And as you know, this is the show where we talk to accomplished sport business professionals who come here to share their knowledge, their experience, tips, and advice in order to help you succeed in your career, right? If you're coming here for the first time, my name is João Frigerio. I'm the founder of I Work in Sport, and I want to say a big thank you for being here with us today. If you're coming back, you know the drill. I'm going to ask you to write in the comments where you're watching from, right? And if you're coming here for the first time, I'm going to ask you exactly the same thing. Where are you coming from? But also you can mention in the comments that this is your first time. This will be good to know. And if you're watching the replay, also leave that in the comments so we'll read all of them. If you don't know I Work in Sport, we're a platform to help you accelerate your career in sports. We'll do that in many different ways, but one of those ways is by organizing the I Work in Sport job fair, which, by the way, will be happening here in Lausanne. Is it here? No, it's here on the 5th of June, so in 2 months. It's a place where you can meet recruiters from some of the most important sports organizations will be there. And yes, they will be also interviewing for real jobs. There's a bunch of presentations there. There's great opportunities. You can't miss it, right? That's it. And if you'd like to register, the registration is open. There's a link in the description. You can do that, or just go to iWorkinSport.com/job fair. Also, if you'd like to connect with like-minded professionals and have access to some exclusive content such as free career coaching sessions, I invite you to join the community We Work in Sport. So it's weworkinsport.com. By the way, members of weworkinsport.com have a discount for the I Work in Sport job fair, as well as to many other sports business events, such as the Soccer X, World Football Summit, and others. Right. Lastly, I'm going to ask you to like this video if you're watching that on YouTube. This really helps the channel. So if you want to support us, do that. And if you're interested in interviews or other shows, other things like this, also subscribe. And the last thing, I know that there will be some people that will be joining this live as well because they filled in the survey for the most attractive employers in sport. And we're actually going to do the draw of that. We're going to do the draw later today at the end of this interview, right? So in about 1 hour. Okay, so I hope you enjoy that. That's enough about us. Let me introduce my guest today. Today I have the pleasure to talk to a very good friend of mine. So Marina Nishitani, and she's here not only because she's a friend, right? But she's an expert in events planning and organize major sports events. She has experience with the Olympic Games, with Formula One races, and much more. Since 2019, she's been doing a lot of work with the kingdom or at the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, and since now everybody seems to be super interested in what's happening there, obviously, there's a lot happening in Saudi Arabia around sports. Thought it would be a good idea to bring a foreigner and a woman that is working in that environment right now to share her experience with you. Now, so without further ado, I will invite Marina to join me. Where is she? Oh, right after this. Hi, Marina. How are you?
Oi, Hi, João. How are you?
Oh, can you hear me? This is the first time we will talk in English.
First time. It's first time I come to a podcast also in English, so it's a bit tricky. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm sure will be great. Marina, we're gonna talk obviously about your experience, recent experience in Saudi Arabia. Been working there for many years, but I suggest that we start from the beginning. And actually, before I ask that question, I just want to say tell you who's already commenting here. Um, Precious oh, Enogumwengie. Sorry, man, if I killed you, or lady, if I if I killed your name. In Lagos, Nigeria. Um, oh, they've been at the event before. There's Princess Ibasha here on behalf of Larry Scott in the United States of America. Cool. Uh, there may be someone else here that you know. I don't know, Marina. Once
Yes, my
again,
good
Oruk.
friend, my Turkish friend Ozgikan.
And
Beautiful.
and and there's Erica also saying hi to you.
I know that cute one too.
Yeah, that's great. Marina, other comments are coming. Oh, Chiara Bedini, and I'll mention others later. Hello, Chiara.
Yes, so cute.
Um,
Friend too.
let's start maybe with a summary of your career so people can get to know you better before we talk more about Saudi and other tips and advice that you can share with the audience. So maybe what did you study? I mean, how did you start working with sports? Tell us your story, please.
João, before even say that, I just wanted to say something. I tell everyone, but I haven't maybe told you. And I know everyone here knows you so much because you're very like well-known professional. You are a legend in the sports industry. But besides that, you're such a like a good person. You have this huge heart. I'm so grateful because last when we met, I was in such a low and sad moment of my life, and you didn't have to, but you were so supportive. We became friends because of that. And when I met the iWorkinSports, the fair, I came. You were kind of doing me a favor, just finding me something to do. I was there as like just an assistant, and thank God, like life changed. I'm back in a good place, and now I'm here as like a guest. So thank you so much. Forever, like really grateful for you and how helpful you were in my life. So you have this big space. Thank you so much. I had to say that before. I'm
Oh, wow.
thank you so
Marina, thank you so much. I don't know what to say. I got the goosebumps. And well, I'm so glad that you are where you are now. Yeah, when I met you, you're a bit lost, and it's nice that to have you here now, sharing that experience with everybody. Because, and I'm sure that people will be able to relate. I've been in that situation as well. I had people who helped me, and that's what I think still trying to do, right? Helping people that are watching there, bringing people like you who can share that experience to them. So thank you so much. Okay, let's let's go back and talk about your career.
Okay. So I always say that I never had the intention to work with sports. I always loved like football, like every other Brazilian. And I was living in US when I was 21, and then when I came back to Brazil, a cousin called me and said, "Oh, I'm working in this company. They need someone. Do you want to come?" And I didn't even know what it is. And I come. It ended up being Pan American Games. So I was working in transport. This was my first job in it was
That
just a job.
was 2007.
7, yes.
2007. But what did you study? So you did journalism and marketing. Is that it?
Yes, I was still in college. That was just internship. I was still studying
Okay.
before graduating. So I had this experience, and I think it's when I started and I found out that this was a market or something, because I didn't even know it was not something I had in mind or I was looking for. So after Pan American Games, I had other jobs more very focused on marketing and these things that I was studying after graduating. But then, so I was doing like PR. I ended up working with sport events um, called military games that we were having in Brazil, but more as a PR from my background. And but in 2012, my ex-boss, Sergio Molina, someone very special also in my life, he came back. He was my boss from Pan American Games. He came back to Olympics. And I like to say that because I really believe in what is like meant to be. And this is how it happened for me. I started LinkedIn account. It was my first time ever. So I opened
Mm-hmm.
account, and first day of account in LinkedIn, I received a message from this previous boss, Sergio. And
Okay.
we were not in touch. We kind of lost touch. And then he find Marina. I'm happy I found you. I was looking for you, and then I'm back working for Olympics now, and I really want you to come back and work with me again. So it was my first day of
Right.
LinkedIn, and that's how it happened. It was 2012, and I spent almost 5 years working for Olympics. So
That time you joined the local organizing committee in
yeah,
Rio then. Okay.
yes. And
And what did you do there?
I didn't know, but I already like I was beaten by this events bug, right? And I started working with him for transport again. It's what I knew, which I think it was so important for my life even now, because when you do transport, it's too many challenges. It's so tough. People expect transport to be perfect. You never make compliments. Transport has to, it's the first experience. If you don't reach the place, nothing happens, right? So transport is very challenging. And I started doing transport, and at some point, I was invited to become part of the venue management team, which was very helpful too, because when you do venue management, it's like you have to understand a little bit of everything, right? So you understand about accreditation, protocol, and food and beverage, clean and waste. So it gave me a great like overview of what was happening. So I spent 5 years working in Olympics in my own city, which was like a privilege. And I think that's how it really happened for me. I had the chance to travel to many places to have experience. I worked for World Cup also as an experience. I went to Paris, to France, Lyon for a Paralympic athletics championship. So I had chance, like I've been to Toronto for Pan American Games too. So that opened the whole world for me. So that was until 2017. And then I had a break. I was investing on something. I moved to Switzerland, as you know, when we met,
Mm-hmm.
and things didn't work out the way I expected. So it was tough. This, like you said, it's a very difficult time. So I think everyone faces these moments. I just I'm always very, I have this compassion to when I see people facing like struggling, because I've been there and it was very difficult. But again, LinkedIn saved me. It was
I was gonna ask you exactly that because we will obviously talk about what you've been doing more recently, but I think it's a good occasion to talk about that part of your life when you sort of moved here and then you got disconnected from working in sport. So say lost a few years there. So it's super hard to get back to that environment. And maybe you could already start and even give some advice. What did you do that actually resulted on something that worked for you?
Yeah, I married someone that was working in the same industry, and I moved to Switzerland with the promise that he was gonna help me to find a job. Obviously, it was easy because he was very well connected, and I was there. I had my background too, but he ended up not helping at all. He was a disaster. And I had to do things on myself. The challenge was I didn't speak French. I still don't. And I had to kind of find my own way in a completely different country, in a different culture, a different language, what I could do. And I think it helped because I met you, at least one amazing legacy for this. I was still always trying to network. I was trying to talk to people. Some people are nice, replying on LinkedIn or sending messages. I was always asking people I knew there, like, can you introduce me to someone? Maybe I can go, I can have a coffee. Uh, so I never stopped like trying to connect because I really believe our market it's super about networking. So
Right.
I so many people with a lot of knowledge and skills that they don't get a good job because they struggle on relationships, on how to deal with people in general. And I knew I was good on that. And I kept like trying. And again, I'm a super fan of LinkedIn. So I always I'm not being sponsored, unfortunately, but I always talk about it because I really believe the power of LinkedIn. And then I was always looking for positions, trying to connect with people. And one day I saw this position saying like Abu Dhabi. I didn't even know like anything about it. But why
Right.
not? I sent my
Yeah.
CV. And then the same day they called me for an interview. And I was just taking like, oh my God, I was praying so much. I pray a lot. And I needed an
Right.
answer. I need a way out of what I was going through. And I knew it was going to be through my own life, like my efforts, with like probably was going to be my job. And super quickly, they offered me a job. And I moved like blind in the dark to UAE, to Abu Dhabi. It was probably the craziest thing I've done.
When was that?
That was 2018.
Okay. And what was the job?
So I was venue manager of tennis for Special Olympics.
Ah, right.
Yeah, which is the prettiest event in the whole planet for me. So it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
really a gift from God because it saved me in all the ways. And it was my first experience in the Middle East. So also it was opening a whole new door for me that I didn't even know when was happening, right? I know now,
Right.
connecting the dots when I look back.
Right.
But it was such a good experience. I met amazing people. Some of one of my best friends. It's we worked together there, and the event itself changed my perspective of like work life. You know, Special Olympics. If you don't know, it's event as big as Olympics, but only for people with any type of brain disability. So Paralympics with the Olympics, it's people with physical disability, which is different.
Yeah.
Special Olympics, it's mental disability. So you have Down syndrome, you have autism, you have so many different type of challenges that we don't even know, but they
Yeah.
are there. So it's so beautiful as a human being to be part of that, you know. And so there was like a 5 to 6 months I spent there. Then I came back to Switzerland, and then we finally got broke up, and I got very sick, like mental issues. Like I was depressed. I had the panic attacks, and I came back to Brazil in disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And again, friends and networked saved me. That's when Saudi came to my life. After Special Olympics, most of my colleagues moved to Saudi. It was the first international event Saudi was hosting. They wanted to open up to the world. It was 2019. And these friends
Which was?
I worked in was the Direia Tennis Cup. It was a tennis tournament and a
Right.
big boxing fight called Clash on the Dunes. We built up such a
Right.
huge venue for this in Indireya, which is a very special one of the Giga projects from Saudi. It's a UNESCO site, very
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. And then we had this amazing event there. It was the first big one, like international event. First time they were opening up, making visas, hosting international like media and guests or something like that. So it was very beautiful to be part of this. And I spent maybe 4 to 5 months also living in Riyadh. This was the first time in Saudi.
Right.
And yeah, it was amazing. I've learned so much about the country and people and the culture. I was very surprised because here we have such a kind of limited understanding of how the Arabic word is, right? I can talk at least for myself. This is all
What
my.
what sur- what surprised you the most?
It surprised me that they were just as normal as we are, like same type of issues and people, and uh, they were curious about us the same way we were curious about like them. I'm saying about Saudi because they were very close
Hmm.
before. So it was so interesting because they had questions for me, like, Marina, can you wear this type of clothes? How does this work? The same way I had questions for them. So I made this amazing friends, like women, and I'm like, why do you always in an abaya? What is the concept behind this? And so for me, I like new things. I like challenges. I like to read, to open my mind, and that also
Right.
changed a lot for me because UAE is different. Saudi was still very closed back then,
Right.
and it was
Right.
beautiful.
No, no, right, right. That's super interesting. By the way, I want to tell people, I should have said that in the introduction, but I can say now that this can be very interactive. So I see that people are posting some comments. I'll read some of them to you in a minute, Marina.
Yeah.
But they can ask questions as well. So you watching there at home, if you have any questions to Marina about anything that she already said or will talk in the future, in the next minutes or so, feel free to ask her the questions. But yeah, so you went there, so that was 19, you participating in those events, but you kept going a bit back and forth to Brazil, right?
Yeah, after I really felt like I wanted to spend some time in Brazil. I missed my family, my friends. I remember I was always saying, "Oh, my friends are having kids. The kids don't even know me. I want to be at home for a while." So for now, I was still in Saudi. I got this job offer to come to Brazil and work in São Paulo, which was also very different for me because I'm from Rio, the countryside. And I came and I started working in this company that they manage soccer player careers.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I was in the beginning working with like more like content and stuff, and then there was a change, an internal change. Then I became a partner, and I was basically managing all the communication and marketing side. So there was the players manager doing the football part, and I was managing all the sponsorships, marketing, like commercial opportunities, social medias, all this side. So I love football. So everyone wants to work with football, right? So this is the
yeah,
first,
yeah.
like, you feel like it's a dream job, but it's not.
Right.
So
Well, maybe we can expand more on that later. But one thing, obviously, I can't forget is that you came as well and participated at that time as an employer in one of our events, or the virtual job fair. So that's great. Before we jump now to the most recent type of job that you've been doing in Saudi, and maybe you can also explain how you go from one to another, the importance of networking as you already touched. Ivan Milivovic said that, or Milikovic says that maybe having some issues with watching the smartphone. I hope that everybody else can watch okay. If you're having any problem, let me know in the comments. There is Marti Palacios is saying hi. There's Monica Nogueira watching in Brazil. Marti is in Spain. Luke is in Switzerland. Yes, and that's not his first time. And Luciana seems to
my
be enjoying. Hello from Brazil. Yeah, it says that you're an amazing professional. I can only agree with that. But Marina, so expand a little more. So you go back to Brazil, and then how did you kept coming back and working in Saudi? I mean, and how is it? Is it easy for a foreigner to go and work there?
So back, I already had some good relationship back there. So when I decided I wanted to quit my job here, it was very quick because I was in Qatar, in Doha, for World Cup. And again, I really believe in the timing, the touch of like the universe and God. So I think it was the timing. So this, my friends back from 2019, they were still in Saudi, most of them. So when I
Mm-hmm.
told them I was free, then I got a job offer. Like, oh, we have this position. We want you to come back. So again, I think network is key. This is for life, right? For everything. But that's how it happened to me. I something I very value on my jobs is to build up a good relationship with people. Obviously, because we never know the future, what the future brings. But this is important for me. So I have all these people like as a legacy, I would say. So this is something I always tell people: don't fight, build up good relationships, like solid, everywhere you go, because that can even be helpful in the future. So I came back to Saudi after this almost 3 years, and I worked for Formula One, and it was very interesting experience.
Tell me
Full,
more. Interesting how.
people only see the usually the Instagram bright side, right? But like I was hired to be media manager, which I did before. And when I got there, like suddenly the company hired a British company to do what I was meant to do. So all of a sudden I have no position. I'm there and there's nothing to do. And then like that was quick. But then there's another project, right? So a previous person I met before, also Sajid, someone I love. He's one of the best bosses I ever had. He's Indian, just a genius. And Sajid said, no, I want Marina. So I moved departments to operations, to events to work with him. So then we had this plan to have this called Motorsport Awards. Okay, so they wanted to have like an awards like it happens in UK only. They wanted to have
Mm-hmm.
this, make it like a big like Oscars for the motorsports world in Saudi. So I was managing this project. So when the project is ready to be launched, then someone really like level the same day decides, okay, this is not the timing to do this. So let's cancel the event. So everything is ready. I have my project. They canceled. So again, second time, I don't know what to do.
Right.
And then a prince, which is an amazing prince, a very smart man that I really like. We became friends, and he is fantastic. He says, no, I'm gonna take this project, it's almost ready, I'm gonna make it a new thing. So then I changed for the third time project, and then that's what we delivered. It was amazing, it was super nice. It was like a gala dinner before the race. I met amazing people, everything went well. But
Right.
do you understand how crazy it is? You go for one project and that changed so many times. You don't know what you're going to do. You feel lost. You get a lot of anxiety. So this is what I say. It's not because it's Saudi, but they learning also how to do things. It's all new for them. They coming up with like amazing giant projects and ideas. And sometimes things don't work the way you plan. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
be flexible and proactive and say, okay, what can I do? Should I go home? Do I stay here? So I talk to people. I say, like people I trust there. Thank God I had friends. And like Joseph, what do I do? Should I stay here? Do I go home? So it's like this, it was very challenging, but at the end it was perfect. I was what I had to be. I really believe that. And I came back to Brazil after. And then this other friend who's like been working in Saudi as well in different projects is Brazilian. He's from my team for the Olympics, Fabricio. I love this guy. We are like so close. And since the Olympics, we were still close. Like I was telling you, I try to
Right.
keep people in my life, like personal and professional life. So he called me
Mm-hmm.
out of the blue. Marina, I'm going back to Saudi for a project. I need someone to be the guest management director, and I cannot think of anyone but you. Do you want to come with me? And it happened like that again, network. I said, yes. I was not planning, it was happening. I always thought maybe I should stay in Brazil, get a job, settle down. But life doesn't want me to do this. That's how I feel. So I came back.
And the famous Fabricio is here.
He's always amazing in my life. I'm glad. Fabs, te amo. He's so smart. He's one of the brightest men I've known to work with. He knows how to deal with people. So we have this chemistry, work chemistry, which I really believe too. Then I went, and this time I was living in Riyadh. Back in Formula One was Jeddah, and we were working for the Ministry of Tourism for this first event in the country. First time the country was hosting the World Tourism Day. It's an event that happens every year in some country, and this was the first time in Saudi. So I
Right.
spent 5 months also working there, but then I was coming back and forth like crazy because I had, my daughter here. It's very challenging as well. It was
Yeah,
huge.
there's a question about that, about work-life balance and you having a daughter and all the travels. We're gonna talk that in a second. But before I actually go to comments, that so the last job that you've been doing with in Saudi has been with Formula One, right?
Yeah, I finished that project. I came back home. Then I went back to Saudi for, then it was a private project with the FIFA World Cup. I was working, helping Fluminense, and I had an amazing client here called Turista FC. They took fans. So we did the whole project for them, first time in Saudi. So I was helping them with this. And then I came back to Brazil, and 10 days later, I went back to Saudi for Formula One. Yes, again, second year.
Which just happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I just came.
And and how is it? Because so this is not the first time that you were there with Formula One, and as you said, the first experience was even a little traumatic. I mean, changing uh, roles back and forth. Now, was it like much easier? And do you notice a difference of how things are working there now, 2024, compared to when you went there for the first time in 2019?
Oh, 2019, it's a whole new world. It's completely different. So like in 2017 is when women were allowed to drive. So 2019 was very recent. Everything was opening up. Now I see that they're doing every year is like 10, 20 years for them. How fast and quick they're growing in an amazing and beautiful way to see how they want to I'm not going to say learn because I don't feel we are in a position to teach them anything. They have their way to see things in life. But just saying
Mm-hmm.
this defense perspective, maybe they are learning. And so I see things improving in such a way because they are being very smart and bringing proper people to do the job. So I think it's changing like a lot. It's very it's enriching like to see the change happening. You feel like you're part of it.
And Marina just mentioned that it was very recently when women were allowed to drive there. And you not being only a foreigner, but also being a woman, how is that, how is it for you there? Maybe, there's obviously I speak with a lot of women that sometimes, feel that they're treated differently regardless where they are in the world, especially working in sports. But there in particular, how is it for you?
João, I'm a very free soul, right? So I anywhere like I go and I even with fear I face the situation. But I can tell you I never had any, let's say, tough situation in Saudi. So I understand there's like a view that we have about it, but like from my from where I see from my perspective, this is a misunderstanding of things. You know, I have so many men friends, and they take such a beautiful care of me always. Like my team there, especially in Riyadh, I had this such a nice team, and men are so careful and caring in general with women. So I
Mm-hmm.
very safe, obviously, because it's safe in all the ways that we are not safe in Brazil. Like there's no like
Mm-hmm.
crime, murder, and all these things. So it's very safe. And in any other way, I don't see any like threat. To be honest, I feel very very safe. Maybe I'm used to that. I have friends. I feel confident. Like if anything happens, I know who to call. But I think it's just a different still perspective on how to see the culture and how they work. You know, if you go deep and if you open up, you find out like how beautiful it is, how they treat women. That's how I feel. Okay, not being this or that, but I never had any situation that I felt scary in any way. I always felt safe and happy.
Nice. This is very good to hear. Let me, before I go to the next question, there's a bunch of questions and comments that already arrived. Precious has two questions here, two in one. So I'll come back to that later, Precious. So stay there, please. Arda Ata says that they need professionals like you in Toronto. So uh,
This is the sweetest person in the planet and one of the most amazing men in the sports industry, Arda.
so Abiral says, "Hello, I'm a fresh sports graduate. How do you find job openings for sports companies in the Middle East? Many companies don't appear to advertise openings on LinkedIn." You mentioned a bit about the network that you created, but already being there. But maybe if you can help uh, him.
Yeah, I again, I really believe in the power of LinkedIn, and I know this the network. But before you get there and you have the chance to show your face and your work, I really believe in LinkedIn, like trying to network with people. And I know many of the big agencies like hiring people, they are posting yes on LinkedIn. So I would say go try to figure who they are. I can give you a list as well, then if you can, if you want to share in the on the website or whatever. And try send your CV and try to maybe have a chat with these recruiters. I think it's something that really helps. They need people right now, so I think it's the good way to do it.
So you're saying that on LinkedIn, maybe you don't need to wait for the position to be advertised. If they're interested in company A, B, or C, try to find whoever's working there in their profiles and try already to make contacts with them.
I always did that. Yeah, and I think they are open to reply and to at least get your CV and keep with them for whenever they need. I think it's a way, yes, to try to reach them out.
Right. Luciana here is asking, I would like Marina to talk about her work-life balance, especially being a mother. How does she balance that?
I think that's the most difficult part of doing this, because most of some of my friends, Fabricio and some other men like Rodrigo, you know, the men I'm always close to, they say, they have kids at home and they doing, but I always remember them. I say, guys, you here because there's a mother at home, and I am here and I'm also the mother. So this is very complicated. But I have such a support here, which is my family. So without them, I would never be able to do this. So my mom and my grandma, My brother, my dad, they always here when I have to go, they stay and they support me. And I can tell you it's tough because I feel guilty many times. But I try to give her an example, just to say my mom is doing this for also for me. She knows that the things she wants, maybe she wants to go to Disney, or it's just possible and affordable and just feasible because I'm working and my daughter is just mine. She's I raised her on my own. She's adopted, and it's even bigger the challenge. So, but it's like this: you feel guilty one day, you cry, then the day after you try again, you get up and say, okay, I'm doing this for them, for my kids. And it's the woman lives, like our lives is like this. Like, it's not like all of us are working in Saudi, but everyone is making an effort and trying to conciliate life and work and relationship and kids. It's tough to be a woman.
Right, right. Marina, I want to ask you about, do you know what are the skills that are most in demand there at the moment? But actually, before you answer, so you can think about it, I see that we have nearly 50 people watching all together on LinkedIn and YouTube. I want to know if they can let us know who is actually interested in working in Saudi, if there's anyone that has this particular interest, or maybe just let us know as well in the comments if they already have been there or not. But we'll see if they reply, and we'll get to that later. But in terms of the skills, what are the skills that are in demand that you think?
Well, I think they are looking for experienced people in sport events in general. But like I said, I've seen some people that didn't get along, didn't adjust to the culture and how things work there. So I would say number one, based on also the story I just told you about last year, it's flexibility. You have to be like open and being flexible on, like I always say, like, you want to join the market, try to get any position. Okay, I'm specialist in, like, let's say, accommodation. Yeah, but there's a position, maybe food and beverage, and you have the chance, go get it. Try, go, show your face, make friends, network, and then next time you can go to, let's say, a better or a more like proper position for you. But be flexible, be open to start and have a chance in the market. Don't miss it. Ah, no, this is not what I want. The money, also this money, people think that they are Neymar or Cristiano. They coming from, getting, they become rich in 1 month. It doesn't work like that, people. I've been saying this on my LinkedIn. It doesn't work like that.
You
So
you are saying uh, more on talking on that on expectations. I remember you posted something on LinkedIn. I noticed two posts. One, you posted about an opportunity that you had a contact and said, whoever is interested, maybe I can forward your CV to them. And then a few days later, you said, guys, you have no idea what you're applying for because people are kind of shooting too high on their salary expectations. Can you expand a bit of that? Because you mentioned it on your LinkedIn before.
yeah, we had this position, and I was. They asked me because they knew I knew some foreigners, and they wanted someone with international experience. So I posted, expecting, say, I'm gonna find you someone super quickly. Then after a few days, I asked like for feedback how it went, and they said, Marina, basically everyone. Then they were telling me about. I sent maybe 15 CVs, like final ones, like I felt like they were like more proper. Everyone's like asking for a fortune. Like, doesn't make any sense. But I say, but how much? And when they told me, I'm like, what? So people keep asking me for an opportunity. I try to share, but no one wants to understand. Okay, it's my first time. Let me first go, and then people get to know me. Then I get to, try to raise the salary I'm expecting to make. Then I was shocked. I was so mad because everyone messaging me. And when I gave the chance, especially my Brazilian, like most of them were Brazilian, I'm like, What is this, guys? We're not becoming rich in a month like this. First, be humble, come for an experience. Then you try something better. Then that's what happened. At the end, they didn't hire anyone. So it was
Oh well.
just a chance that people missed. So
Oh well. Marina, one interesting thing that's happening here while we're chatting, there's a community here helping each other as well, just to let people know. So Abira was actually asking probably you about the list of companies that you talked about. And then Fabricio came and already put a list of main agencies in the region. So
thank
those
you,
who are
Fabio.
interested, you can
Yeah.
check the comments there if you're interested in those. Thank you, Fabricio, for helping out. Evelyn uh, is interested in working in Saudi, so take notes of things that Marina is sharing there. Thanks for being here with us. Um, she has a question as well before we go to Evelyn's question. Uh, a shout out to two special people watching in Brazil. Mamé Paulo, hello Mamé, and José Luis. They're the coolest people on earth. Really, really nice. And Evelyn, she says, what would be the first step for a person that has decided to change career to start to work with sports events?
I get many questions about this in on my LinkedIn because I was helped. I everyone who writes to me on LinkedIn, I reply. And oh, can we have a chat? Yes. Can anything I can do to help? I do because I'm trying to give back to the universe. But Evelyn, what my this is me, okay? What I think try I love the idea of going to study masters and this is very important, but more than anything try to have an experience. Go to iWorkinSports job fair, try to connect with people, and number one thing that I believe, volunteer for sports events. In Europe, there's so many things happening. Even like I volunteered last year for Special Olympics. I got a job offer, but I didn't have time. I was working, but I came to Berlin as a volunteer. So I always tell people, try to get your first experience as a volunteer because you have the whole understanding of what happens. You're not making money, but if you can afford for 10 days, whatever, I know so many great people in the market that started volunteering in a sports event. World Cup, Olympics, there's so many opportunities. So that would be my first advice on if you want to try, go see if that's what you like, the environment, the dynamic, the energy. If it is, then it's first thing for your CV, volunteering, and it counts a lot. I love people that volunteer. If I'm hiring, I would consider that. So that's my advice.
Yeah, no, that's a great advice, Marina. And it doesn't have to be only international events, the Olympics or the World Cup, some local events as well. And especially if it's a sport of your preference, for instance, um, then you can start making some connections that will lead you to other events as well. The other thing that I would say, obviously, networking is super important. One thing that I will invite you to do, and everybody else watching, we do have this community called We Work in Sport. There's a group on LinkedIn, but there's also websites called weworkinsport.com. I think there's a link in the description. If you go there, we do have some coaching sessions with professional career coaches that we give for free. On our site, you can also connect with coaches there. And yeah, like Marina, I try to respond to everyone. Now it's getting a bit sort of too much. So what I'm doing is I set an hour to connect with people that want to connect with me. So sometimes it's an individual call, sometimes it's a group call, but then we can all help and help with experience and with advice. So yeah, networking is a big part of it. So I welcome you to join We Work in Sport. And obviously the companies I work in sport, but we just call the community We Work in Sport. Let me
And
see
I
if
wanted
there's.
to say the job fair is really amazing. Whoever has the chance to go, I really want to go. Maybe we'll see, but I recommend you guys go because it's a very good opportunity to network. I've been there and I know it's very very useful and helpful.
Thank you, Marina. Hopefully, who knows? Maybe I'll see you there. It would be nice.
Like they
Uh,
say, inshallah.
Inshallah, exactly, exactly. Oh yeah, so you know some Arab words already?
Very limited.
Can you speak some Arabic?
No, no, no,
No, not yet.
no.
So salam alaikum.
Yeah, that's
uh,
very short ones.
yeah. Um, so you know all that you described, it seems like you had some exciting times working with sport. You have a preferred experience. You know, what was the most exciting project that you worked on so far?
I would say the one I loved the most was Special Olympics, the event itself. Obviously, Olympics at home was a dream come true, but Special Olympics is a beautiful event. It's life changing. It's very big. It's professional and personally. It was very unique. So I would say Special Olympics.
And what was the most challenging one for you?
Mm, challenging. Um, Well, the previous one before Formula One, the one I was telling you, it was in Riyadh, the World Tourism Day. It was a huge challenge. I had such a big responsibility. I was managing all the guest management departments, so there was so many things under me. And I'm not gonna say this is Saudi, but this is everywhere. It's very complicated when some men have to work under a woman, right? That happens everywhere. Okay, so not only talking about Saudi. So I had many complicated men working under me. So
Hmm.
super difficult. And this was not a sports event, and it was very exclusive VIP event. So we had more than 200 ministers from all over the planet coming. So very challenging. And the way they wanted to do things was not the proper way. So you face, you have to find a way to get what you want, and you have to respect the culture. You have to respect the man. I can tell you, we made it, but it was painful.
Gotcha. Listen, Marina, Precious is reminding me here, João, you still have to answer my question. So let's go back to
What's the
the
question?
question. She goes, I'm I'm new as a sports professional, football coaching, right? How do I know the kind of jobs to apply for on LinkedIn? And are qualifications and work experience important in applying for international jobs? Well, so first of all, I have to say that I'm not really an expert on. We don't really cover, say, performance roles with I work in sport, like football coaching, for instance, or
Yeah.
any training, anything that is on the pitch. It's not the kind of thing that we cover. We cover much more, well, everything else that is off the pitch, right, on the management side and administration, marketing, commercial, all that. Now, having said that, uh, how do I know the kind of jobs to apply? You really need to know what is the first thing. You need to know what you want to do,
Yeah. What are you
right?
looking for?
Yeah. Uh, Do you want to keep working as a football coach? If that's what you want to do, you need to look for opportunities training in that area. If you want to change roles, there's a lot of people that come from some experience as a player, as an athlete, and they want to go into management. Then, for instance, Marina mentioned the programs, courses, and you have master's programs that will take a year of investment of your life and a substantial amount of money. Even if you get a scholarship, you're going to spend living abroad or something like that. to much shorter courses online. There's several there, so check those out. We actually, if you actually looking for education, we do have a quiz that will help you find the best one for you. It's in iWorkinSport.com/quiz. But so you need to know what is it that you want to do. So for depending on the position that you want to do, you will know what the qualifications are. You know, you see the job descriptions and you see what they ask. I don't know if I can say much more than that.
And what I think,
Can you
John,
add, Marina?
on LinkedIn, you have to, based on what you want to do, you have to follow the proper companies. Like, let's say you want to be a football coach, then you have to follow all the clubs, let's say Real Madrid, all the pages of the clubs. So you need to understand who could be a proper employer for you, right? So then when
Yeah,
they post
I wouldn't. Sorry, I
options,
wouldn't start with Marina. I wouldn't start with Real Madrid. I would probably, depending. I don't know in which stage you are in your career, but more a local club or a
yeah.
place where you could have more access, a third division club, and see what kind of work you can do there, and then you go your way up.
No, but I mean also this, like let's say Real Madrid, when they post a job offer, like something like a position, they know the qualifications, what they're looking for. So it's also an opportunity to see, like, oh, maybe I should qualify on this, I should work on that. So it's a chance to understand what is requested from a professional, for the position you want to apply to. So dream big, why not?
Yeah. Well, I hope that helps, Precious. There is, well, I do have a few more questions. Do you need to finish at 1 hour sharp, or you can stay another few minutes, Marina?
No, no, I'm free. I'm free for you today.
Great. um, Aryun Singh, I hope I didn't murder that name either, says how to get in the ecosystem of sports events operations in Saudi Arabia, as it's going to epicenter of sports tournament in the very near future. Well, I think you covered a lot of that, Marina. Anything that you would like to add? I don't know, are you saying if you've been there from the beginning? If not, she already talked a lot about it. But Marina, if you want to stress something.
No, I think for now, what I recommend is really Fabs share the companies, the place you can try to apply, and then try to network on LinkedIn and make sure you are always you are aware and try to find ways to understand what positions are open, and try to connect with people. It's the easiest way for sure.
Great. Thank you, Marina. Hussein Fahad says, "Hi, Marina. How would the foreign workforce help Saudi achieve their 2030 vision in the sports industry? And how would the Brazilian workforce in particular play a role in this?"
This is like I told you, I don't feel like anyone has uh it's not proper like teaching anyone, because they're great on doing so many things. But in this specific, let's say, events, and I'm not just saying about sport events, but events in general, they need us. I'm saying us foreigners in general. So let's say in Formula One, they hire a lot of people from Baku because they do Formula One. So they have good experience. It's a very successful race. So they have a lot to help and to teach. Because what I think the vision in 2030 is the it's a dream that the crown prince has to kind of qualify his own country and his own people to be ready to do the work from after that. So for now, I think we can help on this perspective. So, and Brazilians, I don't like saying that because it can sound a bit too vain, but we've done a World Cup at home, we've done Olympics, so that qualified us a lot So every time, and we are very like, this is something about Brazilians. We are so flexible because of life, right? You are Brazilian, you know that. We know how to fix the situation. We do last minute changes. We are very, we have this ability to make like shortcuts and get to the final point. So this is perfect for events. So I really trust that when I see a Brazilian, in general, of course, but working in a position, I say, okay, we are safe there. So I feel like peaceful.
And I have to say, Marina, that we are already exporting talents to the region and Saudi Arabia. For instance, Ricardo Tradi, known as Baca as well, who was there
he, he was my
with
boss back in Pan American
yes,
Games.
the Pan American Games, then Olympic Games, and he was the CEO of the World Cup. He was recently the deputy CEO of the World Cup in Qatar, right?
Okay.
So they've been helping them a lot. We have Manuel Flores, who was director at CBF of competitions, now working in Saudi. Oh, by the way, Ricardo Tradi is going to be our next guest next week. We're going to speak with him. So we're going to talk about all that. He's super experienced in mega sports events as well at a leadership position. So we'll continue, that conversation. And I think they're already doing some of that. Marina, we're just past the 1 hour mark. I don't want to take you too long, but I do have a few more questions for you. In all these travels, do you have any good story that you like to share? Uh, or what would be the best story that you have experienced thanks to working in sports? It could be a lesson that you learned. It could be a funny story. Or
There's one, I don't know, some people will remember. I was still working for Olympics, so our venue was in a very kind of a poor, dangerous area, right? Olympic Stadium. And then, like, someone calls me on the radio, Marina, I need you right now at the accreditation center. And I say, no, I'm busy. No, come now. Okay. So I walk. Oof, I'm so tired. But then I walk all the way out. Accreditation center is out of the venue, right? Because you have to get your accreditation so you can get into the venue. So I come out. And then when I get inside, I say, guys, stop calling me. I'm busy. And then everyone's like looking at me like this. And then this guy comes and say, hi. I say, hi. Nice to meet you. I say, nice to meet you, Marina. And he's like, nice to meet you, I'm Floyd. And I was like, Floyd who? I don't know who this guy is, but apparently everyone knows.
is it a boxer?
Yes, he's Floyd Mayweather.
Ah, Mayweather.
Yes. And he's like, I want to go see my friend, which is Usain Bolt, but I don't have accreditation, but I want to buy a skybox. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I'm not selling a skybox here. It doesn't work like this. And then he has a big bag full of money, like show me the money. And he opens like this, and I'm like, no, this is dangerous area. You cannot do like this. And at this point, there's so many people all over the accreditation center, like Floyd. I didn't even know. Until this point, I don't know who Floyd is. But I understood he was like someone famous. So it was so
Yeah.
crazy. I have to escort him myself, like through people. I say, guys, sorry. And then at the end, I've had to call the commercial director. He said, Marina, we cannot get cash. How can we, like, the guy's about to run? There's no way. So this guy invites him to his skybox with everyone. And when he's leaving, he looks at me. He's like, don't you want a picture with me? I'm like, no, like I don't even know. I said, but if you want, we take. So we took a selfie. Back then, it was like
But you
old.
said, but if you want one with me, okay.
Okay. Then we took a selfie, just me and him, like, and probably he thinks this is the first person in the planet that doesn't know me, and everyone laughing because I say, "Oh, nice to meet you, I'm Floyd." I say, "Okay, nice to meet you, I'm Marina." So, like, just people, and this
Yeah.
was it. It was epic, After that, everyone makes fun of me. But it's like this, we're just working very focused, and we still laugh about this for sure.
Yeah, well, that's one of the great things about working in sport, isn't it? I didn't know that one. Marina, thank you so much for being here. Actually, I have two more to go. One, what's your favorite sporting moment?
As a Brazilian, I have to say, I think it was the World Cup '94. I was a kid, but there was different times in sports. We were so connected to the players. All the country was in like party. We were painting the streets. I was back in my town. So it's still very special moment. So I think it's being the champion in '94. Bebeto, Romário, all that, all those guys. It's very still, gives me butterflies in my stomach when I think about it.
Good, good. And I will ask you to recommend to our audience a book or a podcast or YouTube channel. I always ask someone to leave a recommendation here for them. Before I ask you that, there's a comment here from Fabricio, so you can think about it, which I found very useful as well. He says, we're talking about where to work, and he says, if I can add a point, you have to apply for events in general, not only sports.
Good.
The production companies who are hiring for sports events are also hiring for all sorts of events. Yeah, and that's definitely a transferable skill from one to another. So the key is to be inside of these agencies and start a great relationship with them. Very
João,
good. And
Fabrício works for a very good company there. He has a huge network. He works very close to Princess. So maybe he can be a nice guest also for the podcast because he has a lot to talk also about Saudi. So
great. Let's talk. Let's connect on LinkedIn, Fabricio.
Yeah.
Marina, so the last one, what can you recommend to our audience? And whoever's here also for, I mentioned that we had the most attractive employers in sports survey, right? So some people participated in it, and many of them entered now a draw to win some prizes. So we're going to do this at the end, after we finish.
João, I would say I'm very like a person, in general, people driven. So I always think work, it's about connecting people, having relationships. So I would say this book called The 5 Languages of Love.
5 Languages of Love.
Yeah. It's the first time when you start reading, you understand it's apparently very about romantic relationships, but it's not. It's how you connect with people, how you feel loved, and how you can show love, how people feel loved. So this is key for building up good relationships, networking, with everyone. It can be with my friend, my parents, a co-worker. So I really think, especially now we're talking about Saudi, it's 90% about networking and relationship. You go there, they trust you, they knew on this, they really want us to be there, they are welcoming, but at the same time, they have their walls. So this is all based on building up a good relationship. So this book, I think it helps you to understand, identify how you can reach that person in the best way, and how it's at the end it's all about relationships and network, which works for professional life a lot. So
right. So it's the 5
languages of love.
5 languages of love. All right, I'll put that in the list.
Yes.
And Marina, wanna thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed it. I can see that there was a lot of participation today, so I hope that everybody liked as well. If you did and you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button there, help us out. So, let's let's do that for Marina. And and I really hope to see you again in person very soon, either here in Switzerland or in Brazil, or who knows, in Saudi. I was there recently. I think we just missed each other for a few days, right?
Yeah. Thank you. So if you can have my guys, my LinkedIn, whoever wants to talk or need any help, any way I can support, I'm super happy to help. I already had people helping me, like we said in the beginning, like João. And yeah, I think the especially Saudi market is very open. If you are open, if you want to be surprised and be amazed by a completely different like culture and a different world, just open up your mind, your heart, and try that. There's a big chance it's gonna happen, and you gonna enjoy for sure an amazing ride. So thank you so much, you all. I'll see you soon. We met in Doha, remember, at the World Cup too. So it can be anywhere. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, for sure, during the World Cup,
In the World
yeah,
Cup.
yeah.
So
All right,
yeah,
Marina, I'm gonna say bye to you, and I will invite people who still here watching, if especially if they participated in the survey and they want to know if they won first a free ticket to the job fair, iWorkinSport job fair, and we're also going to give a $300 Amazon gift card, you know,
nice.
for one person that participated in that. So I'm going to say bye to you, Marina, and I'm going to share my screen and do that. Bye
Thank
bye.
you,
See you soon.
everyone. Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Obrigada.
All right. So let me now share my screen here. Where is it? Just give me a minute. Let me know in the comments who is still here, who actually is waiting for the draw. If you can let me know your names, would be nice. Who knows? It brings good luck. Let's see. Window. Here. Right. Let me actually zoom in a bit. So you can see this is a tool called Random Results. We used that before. We just included, I think 1,000+ names here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to press draw now, the button, so twice, right? So I'm just going over, all the names that are here. Anyway, I'm going to press the button here, and the first prize that will appear will be a free ticket to the iWorkinSport job fair, right? That will happen on June 5th, so almost exactly 2 months from now. And then the second one will be the Amazon gift card, $300. And yeah, I can only wish good luck to everyone. Let's see. Drama, who is going to be the winner of the ticket for the job fair? Fábio Laudizio. Fábio Laudizio in Brazil. Well, he's got a very good job, so I don't know if he will go to that, but he will. You know what? I know that Fábio won't come to the job fair. He's not looking for a job. So because I know that he works at the NBA, so very well employed, I will actually draw again, right? And then if he wants to come, I'll give him another free ticket. So there we go. Another one, second chance for a ticket for the job fair. Come on, Kirsty Burrows. We have a lot of people super well employed here. I'm going to give her a third ticket. Anthony Abok. All right, I don't know him, so I hope that he will make good use of that. And Anthony, So you won a free ticket to the job fair. So did Kirsty and Fabio, if they want to come. So that's three tickets given. Now I'm going to press the button again to see who will win the Amazon gift card. All right. And the winner is Hamza Hawaiti. Right, Hamza Hawaiti, you just won an Amazon gift card. I will get in touch with you, have your email, and see how we can send that to you. All right, everyone, was lovely seeing you. As I said, next week we're going to have Ricardo Traggi, super big executive in sports events, was the CEO, of the World Cup in Brazil, deputy CEO of the World Cup in Qatar, also worked in the Olympic Games, has a lot of experience in in sports. I invite you to, if you didn't win the ticket and still want to go to the job fair, go to the link below and follow the link there, iWorkinSport.com/job fair to register. Actually, if you join WeWorkinSport.com, the community WeWorkinSport.com, you can get a 30% discount on the ticket, right? So this is it for me. I hope to see you soon, and I wish you well. Bye bye, everybody. Bye.